The pandemic has impacted so many aspects of our lives, and for those struggling with addiction, it's been a very tough year. The Virginia Department of Health predicts more than 2,000 people will die due to drug overdoses by the end of the year, the most ever.
Overall, 2020 is looking like we're having a dramatic increase in overdoses since the pandemic began.
Rosie Hobrin is a statewide forensic epidemiologist with VDH. She says the biggest culprit is the opioid fentanyl. In the second quarter of the year, nearly 80% of all overdose deaths were caused by the drug. It's a sharp turn in Virginia. Just 2 years ago, Virginia saw a drop in the number of overdose deaths for the first time in several years, but that progress has been erased.
And, we deal with, these are statistics and these are numbers and stuff. You got to remember that these are like individual people and family members, and it's people that are struggling.
Experts say that struggle is because more people are spending time alone at home in isolation than they did before.
Anecdotally, we're hearing that folks are lonely, they're isolated, they're scared, that there's fatigue, the COVID fatigue, and they're just sort of trying to cope with it in any way that they can.
Kurt Hooks is the CEO of the Virginia Beach Psychiatric Center. He says while these numbers are sad, the real problem is even worse.
We're just scratching the surface in terms of what we're seeing in terms of people reaching out for help versus those that are really in very, very crisis level dire need to get help for substance use disorders.
And for those struggling, advocates say there are plenty of resources to get help.
And there's way too much shame and stigma around substance use disorders and the presence of what we would call addiction. Just reach out, and there are folks that stand ready to help.
Ready to help the many who are struggling. In Norfolk, Brendan Ponton, News 3.